given that this is twins and common twinsian pastime to do nothing or get drunk or die, etc., etc. Becomes more humid as you guys go down here, closer to the river itself, down in elevation, which is always a bad sign in the twins for the most part. There is one person walking about, and Mishka recognizes them immediately. She just says, Astreyev, and jumps off the wagon and runs over to the person now dubbed Astreyev. Astreyev herself is caught off guard, mostly because you guys are sneaking into town, pretty competently, I might add. That's right, she wouldn't be on the wagon. The wagon doesn't hear. She runs forward and greets Astreyev. She notes the 17 some of you, which are, I think 90% of you are armed and armored. 97% of you are armed and armored in some way, shape, or form. Even you wizards are wearing other magical items, by the way.
Shax has armor of some sort, doesn't he?
I don't think at this point. I think Preston hasn't gotten to it yet. Regardless.
Alright.
You guys are armed and armored. You guys look intimidating and double down that because you guys are outsiders. Twins and outsiders are... there's always stories for that sort of stuff. Twinsian natives and outsiders. Mishka... To you, Noxage, you guys have seen Mishka's, I guess you could say, original, actual personality before. She's a pretty bubbly and happy-go-lucky child, save for her more immediate recent trauma. But you do see that surface again as she runs over to Astreyev and be telling her in the massive, maelstrom of almost, no breathing in between phrases and sentences and words and stuff like that, what she's been up to. And you think Astreyev gets a part of it, the beginning part, and then afterwards it's just lost to the, to the sea there. And she eventually just like, Mishka, calm down. It's very good to see you. Who are they with you? And she points at you guys. Yes, they brought me back.
While that is happening, Aldrich is just going to casually lean over to, he was talking to Wise and Aminius, so he's going to lean over towards them. And contrary to how he's been behaving before, you would be able to hear a notable timbre in the way he speaks. And he says, she lost her mother recently. It's why we're here. And then he would just focus back on the conversation in front of him.
Aminius just nods.
Okay.
Mira goes up to Astreyev, pulls down her hood, revealing her woven ears and such. You're not 100% certain how well she remembers Mira, but Astreyev does recognize Mira. Seeker Mira. Mira just deflates at that visibly. Not a seeker anymore. Can we talk to Elder Turov? Of course. Please, all of you, come. Yeah, so you guys are, you're out, Mark. Quick.
At this, I would lean over to the new group.
Here.
Yes, she got fired from being a seeker.
What'd you do?
Feels bad.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it later, huh? I think we have other important matters to get to.
Well,
Come on, let's go talk to the town elder. So yeah, you guys are at the edge of town. You guys have to walk through all of town to the end where Elder Turov's abode is. People open up their doors, windows, or at least window blinds open up, and people see you, and we're just sort of begin talking there. Not any other children in the village. At least not that you see or are allowed to see. So Misha has a bit of a oddity, we'll say. You guys coast through town. And eventually coming across in... It's very obviously different because it's just plain bigger. You think you could fit through these other smaller, like maybe 1-2 room, hovels into Elder Turov's actual thing. I want to call it his estate, not a mansion. It's like an actual sizable house.
As opposed to huts.
Astreyev is how you say it. Astreyev. The twins has
got you.
a lot of Nevros-esque in terms of linguistic pocket communities, and Nevros itself is again based off of Japanese, Russian, and Latin. So Russian accents in Nevros are a common occurrence, which explains Galiber's nature. Yes, Galiber's an isolated community of Russian accented people. So yeah, Astreyev, Miska, Turov, etc., etc. Astreyev just tells you all to wait out here. She goes through. There's 3 doors that lead into Odor Turov's abode. She goes through the central one, which is like the more large. Like it's like a. Here, I can just draw it in terms of rough comparison. It's like and then like a door 1, 2, 3. So yeah, she goes into the middle one, and then, but less than a minute later, she comes back out. A very old, but you can see the wisdom to his age, man. Very large, not fully unkempt. It's semi-kept beard. He's wearing like a headband of some sort that just sort of encapsulates. You're not sure how much hair he has, but if he has any hair, just sort of ties it back, sort of like a do-rag in a sense. You reckon he's somewhere from 60 mid-70s. That being said, he doesn't seem to appear feeble. He can walk on his own. He does have like a walking stick, but he's not like tumbling and using it as like mass amounts. It's more of just something for balance, as opposed to something to keep him upright like a crutch. And who are all of you? Where are my mothers? He gestures you all to, from your perspective, the right door, that little smaller shack there. Please. Visitors must. It's been a little while since I've had visitors. Come. Astreyev, would you? Of course. Please. He goes over to this door, holds it open, and just gestures for her to come in.
Might be the middle of twins, but there's still hospitality. Sandra
Yes,
goes
your
and-
hospitality is very appreciated. Thank you.
We would talk of my hospitality and of Mishka. Come sit.
Go and sit.
I should go in. Yes.
That is very kind of you, feeble old man. I really.
Must appear feeble to you, but you should have seen me back in the day. And he hefts himself and flexes, like Alex Louis Armstrong style. Doesn't have as much shine to it, given his age and his appearance, but the intent is there.
Yeah, Marshall takes note of it and he gives him a knowing nod.
There was something back in the day.
A warrior who's powerful enough to live to old age? That's impressive.
No one lives through age. But come on. You guys all shuffle in and he follows behind, closes the door. The room you're in is a dirt floor sitting room with a fire pit. I want to say pit because pit makes it sound like it's subterranean, like it's dug into the ground. It's more like a fire pedestal, like a little brazier, just made of like rocks, and like a old bent, like dented flat plate that just sort of actually holds like the logs and the ashes and stuff like that. One which he immediately sets about like getting some kindling, using tinder, flint and steel, lighting it, stuff like that, and then getting it ablaze for a nice bonfire. Some Dark Souls-esque comfort amidst this squat hovel.
Stab your sword into the fire.
I mean, yeah, you do call it a coiled sword. But yeah, you guys are just sort of, you guys figure that there's not really a place to sit. You're going to sit on the ground or remain standing. This hovel does have a door that leads. Well, it has like a back cupboard area, so you can see that has like a lot of contents back there, like just racks full of sort of alchemical ingredients. You think, and then a door that leads to the other mid building.
Aldrich finds a wall and starts leaning against it. And Ward just sits down on the floor like it's the most comfortable chair ever.
Contrary to this being probably one of the closest buildings to the river, and obviously you guys are in lower elevation, the soil here is not damp nor muddy or anything of the sort. It is still like proper compacted and stuff like that.
Nice earthen floor.
Proper urban floor.
Jedimir, in a weird way, kind of mimics Ward, and Sandra kind of mimics Aldrich. I was thinking like almost the exact same thing in my head. It's like, that's fucking weird.
Well then, it's called character contrast. Nevi is very familiar with crisscross next to a fire. Of course she is. Owen stands next to his uncle, as does Danwin on the opposite side. Tala is familiar with being one with the ground, either in physical exercise or in defeat.
Considering when she stands up, she's not far from it.
Eat dirt, nerd.
So she sits down as well.
I'll just plop down next to Ward.
Alright. Abigail and Varric remain standing. Mira sits down in a manner of courtesy. Traditional courtesy, we'll say. It's very polite, we'll say. So she keeps her hands to herself. She almost looks like she's meditating. A few moments pass. Well, more than a few moments. Like a couple minutes passes. Lights the fire, gets it roaring, and stuff like that. In that time, Astreyev does come in with refreshments, Twinsian refreshments. It's winter right now, so it is cold here in the Twins, and doubly so with the humidity.
Yes, Twinsian refreshments. Swamp water that's been boiled so it doesn't have sickness in it.
They have fucking tea, you asshole.
It's the swamps. I can't have nice things. I said the swamps.
Listen.
Of course they can. Rare plants, swamp. That could make for some really interesting tea. Just saying.
It's tea. I'm not gonna defend it any more than it should have defense. It's tea. A sort of green tea with a sort of citrusy tone to it.
Nice.
You probably buy. I just realized that you could probably buy this sort of stuff from like Coffee Bean or something. Because I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure I've had like a peach green tea that's like been served to me hot, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on in my mouth right now?
Yeah, no, our green tea has like lemongrass or something in it as well, so it has kind of
lemongrass is good. Lemongrass is good. We'll say that. Fuck it, it's lemongrass. You know, sort of citrusy green tea.
Nice.
She comes with like this sort of like platter and just sort of like goes over to each of you and gives you like this sort of hand carved like wooden, sort of like Japanese style like tea cup. You know, that's just sort of like there's no like handle or anything. It's just a whoop, tall cup. It warms to those of you that have like bare things on your hands, so like your gloves and gauntlets and stuff like that. And to those of you wearing gloves, it still warms you. But to those of you with bare hands, it definitely keeps your hands warm in this cold environment, which is really appreciated. And although the days you might be concerned it might burn your hands, but at this point, like it's just a nice comfort amidst the fog that rolls around this place.
Ulrich holds the cup like a hand warmer, but doesn't drink. Ward, on the other hand, is just gonna take it, sniff it, and just take a very appreciative sip.
Elder Turov has his own cup and down. Him basically as this sort of in this orator position, so I imagine all of you. So let's draw it real quick. So easy. So if we imagine that the door is here, the fire pit is here. I imagine you guys are all sitting in this sort of smile. A Cyclops smile. You guys are all sitting there, and then he's sitting here, door to the other place, door to the sort of side room. And then Astreyev is I'm trying over Astreyev. So you guys are all just basically sitting, looking at him in this sort of orator manner. He sits down himself, crisscross.
Before we begin, I must thank you that you brought Mishka back.
He puts his little cup on the ground and just, again, in a semi-Japanese style, the way Japanese people sit when they do this is different. He's still doing crisscross, but to a semi-capable manner with his old age. He like bows his head fully, like touching the ground, hands tucked under his forehead as he bends over. It's a very slow, almost ritualistic bow that he does from his same position.
Thank you.
Yoan bows.
What has happened? Mishka had left town with her mother, but
You get the feeling that he already knows the answer, but he just wants to confirm it.
but only she returns. What happened?
Is Mishka in the room?
No.
She
So Astreyev and
Found
her are
us.
just in the kitchen somewhere.
she found us in the middle of the night a few days back. She
It's about a week or two back.
said that. Yeah. She said that she'd lost her mother. The treat got her. We didn't quite understand what it was at first, but perhaps you could shed some light on that.
Think you know already.
He looks across your guys' collective faces, and to all of you in Uxal, you guys know the tree. And those of you in the Vanguard team that know the story, you guys know the tree. But not all of you in the Vanguard team know what the hell this story is.
Sandra's just the thinking emoji.
Yeah,
with tea.
I know nothing. I'm
So
just
he
like,
notes some confusion on some of your faces.
You've gone so far to us without knowing.
To be fair, we joined
Very-
moderately recently.
You are very brave, then.
Brave or stupid.
There's a
I'm
fine
going with the
line.
latter.
Sometimes they're the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Our town has a very long-lasted adornment to it. You have passed by it on your way in. Out. The large tree in front of the Lord's old estate. The hanging tree.
Warder's gonna put a hand on the earthen floor, and he's going to tap a one of these. Where are they?
What are these?
Did it end with
Yeah.
did it begin with a D and end with a divine sense?
Yes.
Any good night starts with a D.
Hey,
What?
be respectful of people of other sexual orientations. Not all night.
You know what? Fair. I'll give you that one.
Chedamir is one of those people. Wait, skipped. Oh wait, no, now it's playing that. Okay. Get that right. Change the music. Divine sense on there. This place, your senses get overpowered. At least your scent-based one is overpowered with the scent of citrus. Like you're walking through, a greenhouse filled with oranges and lemons and limes. And I think grapefruits are citrus too, actually. Grapefruits. Taste-wise, the tea in your mouth similarly becomes an overpowering citrus taste to it. The earth around you, as you dig your hands, just run, of course, your hands through the soil and stuff. It doesn't actually, because the divine sense doesn't literally alter the world, or it just gives you a different interpretation of it. But it feels like you're running your hands through glass shards. They don't actually cut you, but you feel like it'll get there. While Ward is doing this, Elder Trav informs the rest that the story of his town, one that has been taught to him by his predecessor, his father, and his father for him, and his father before him, so on and so forth for many generations. Long ago, when the twins were first being colonized, this town came to be with a very specific lord, one that did not have any leeway for failures. This is the twins. When there was a frontier, failure was not an option. So many other towns in the twins have been abandoned or fallen to worse fates. He was determined to make sure this was not. But Margin United is a very harsh tester. Our town was faced with a drought. This river you see by us was not always here. It was not always as strong, even when it was. We faced a drought. We can only hunt for so many. There were no neighbors to ask for aid. It seemed certain this town would perish, either by the death of those who remained or by the bleeding. But one day, 3 outsiders came. They claimed to be holy folk. They offered our Lord a solution. A tree that would bear fruit regardless of circumstance. The nectar of these fruits able to quench any thirst. In some of your guys' minds, it does sound similar to a good berry in a weird sense. Because obviously a good berry, eating one could give you enough survivability for a whole day. So it sounds similar to that. Of course, you never heard any good berry bushes, killing people. Thinking that in your heads, though. Elder Trav obviously can't read your minds. He continues. Our Lord asked for a demonstration, and they did such. They planted a tree, and it instantly grew. The hanging tree. It did not always hang. Not according to the stories. Our Lord. He shakes his head. He found this heretical. He was certain they were fairies or something worse, come to trick the town. So he in the dead of night, while they rested, he and his men slew 2 of them. The third one escaping barely. They cursed this town. But not before our Lord can catch up to them. They fought. They both died. Returned to the earth underneath the hanging tree. The curse remained. Since then, from then on, our town needed the tree to live.
We needed its fruits, else we would die of starvation. We would needed the nectar, else we'd die of thirst. And that was our curse. Until one day, the earth shook. The river around us quaked, reshifted. Before, water would not sustain us, now it is. The fruits of the tree no longer existed. It instead wanted us as its fruits. It and anything else that passed by. And we now have a very specific form of nutrition. The only source of water is that of our well. Although I question if it is water. I believe it to be some sort of still.
You have not investigated this?
Shakes his head.
We've gone down the well, but at night it seems different. It glows a red glow at night. But when we go down there during the day, we dare not go during night, but when we go during the day, it is fine.
How long is it till sunset?
Let's see. It's half a day travel from your guys' previous campsite. So, assuming you guys left at 8 o'clock.
Half a day.
Actually, we'll say 7. Daybreak happens earlier during. So, half a day. That's about 5 hours, we'll say. So 12. You guys probably have at least night happens earlier too. So probably 6 hours.
All right, we got a minute.
I'll add an additional hour because you guys had to sneak past the hanging tree, so we'll say 5 hours.
That makes sense.
It's like 5 hours by horse. So, yeah. Horse and wagon, but you guys obviously didn't have a horse and wagon the whole way. So, yeah, 5 hours. Till roughly sunset.
Anybody besides you guys end up messing with the big old tree?
You got out.
Sorry. Anybody besides you fellows mess with the big old tree? Like, I don't know, like us? Go messing with it?
We've not seen anyone in many years, save for...
And he just a mirror. And the Seekers have made it clear that they aren't going to intervene in the town's sake. So
it's easy. We just kill the tree for them.
You make it sound so simple.
We don't know what kind of impact that might have on the town, Marshal. If they are bound to it, killing the tree might kill them.
No. It's easy. We just cut from the backside so it doesn't fall on them. No impact.
The tree. I would hate to say this, but it is our sole source of food.
At least you don't have to go out and get yourself.
I don't know how many people would agree to such. We are cursed, but we're not evil.
That's possible. That's good, at least.
Ward is going to sort of jerk his hand off the floor like he's been injured, and he's got like tears on his face. Not full on
Are you okay?
bawling or anything, but he's
What's up?
Nevi goes over. Is something wrong with your hand?
No, it's This land is in pain. There is something in the very soil itself. It's like running my hand through shards of glass.
Ugh.
Something is not right here.
Alright, so how do we want to approach this situation?
Circumstances being what they are, I can't ignore this. I can't walk away from something like that. This is a wound that I need to try and heal somehow.
I kind of like this guy.
Elder Turov. Yes, Sikimura? Just Mira will do.
Yes, because it's not a secret anymore.
You don't have to say it.
That is true. You're
How
not
long has that been a
lying.
situation?
Don't fucking worry about it. Anyways, Elder Turov.
Mhm.
Yes, Mira. In your ancestors' stories of this town, surely someone has to have done something against a tree. Tried chopping it down, burning it. Something. He nods. There have been attempts at burns. Not any town-sanctioned actions, though. Again, it is it is our only source of food. Right. But what happened in those stories? It fought back. And
From the looks
It
of
did
it,
not
it seems
burn.
that it won.
it did not burn. Regardless. Right. Tree is your guys' form of food. Mira goes back to thinking to herself.
My Oh my god.
Oh my god, that's perfect.
Can Shedemir roll something to hear that whispering?
He stage whispers it.
Stage
Oh, he
whispers.
stage whispers? I missed the stage part. Shedemir just kind of grits her teeth, but Sandra's smirking at this stupid shit.
Stage whispering back, Marshall Arlik is going to reply. Yeah, I don't think that's safe. Even if they do have protection.
Oh Christ.
It's like there's two of them.
Just nod sagely. I could only imagine if he takes that elf girl in there. What if they both get pregnant?
Questions of which elf girl?
Don't clarify. Just roll with that.
Mira's like caught staring daggers. You can tell a look in her eyes. It says, "Isn't it a little inappropriate for the current circumstance to be talking about this?" A lot of words in a look,
Of course it is. That's why I'm doing it.
of course.
If Elder Turov, if the tree does indeed have Mishka's mother, is there a way to get her back?
He shakes his head. The tree consumes that which it gets.
Where does it take what it
Contents,
consumes?
Properties, body, everything. I do not know where it goes. Merely that it goes away.
Well, it must go somewhere. Do you know if this happens instantaneously? Is there time?
No, there is time to get it if you're fast enough. Body itself. I mean, earlier today we got some contents. In fact,
How do you
he
not
stands
get
up.
eaten?
There are ways. They do not guarantee we do not get attacked. Merely increase the chances.
No.
And it was already eating, which also increases the chances. I will be back.
Hmm.
He walks away. Walks back into the main room. Main house, rather.
Aldrich, looking over to Seema, is going to say, I refuse to believe that there is no way to do at least something. We know that we need to do that much. Dead or alive, we need to find her.
I feel like there's more to the story than what Elder Trav has. Especially with the well. There has to be something there. Why does it glow red at night?
I'm always up for some midnight gallivanting, you know me by now.
She raises an eyebrow and gives a smirk. Like that other town you may or may not have robbed?
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about.
Uh-huh.
It was the one. Wait, hold on. Jennifer waits for like 3 seconds. Is like, is he being facetious or is he actually forgetting things?
Coin puts her head down and then like does the thing where it's like a dog knows that something fucked up and puts like their paws over their snoot, like as if to cover their eyes.
Gotcha.
I know, Coin. I know. We all do. A few moments pass and Odor Turov comes back.
It's not a crime if you don't get caught.
He has
I would
with
argue
him.
against that, but okay.
He has with him a number of things. He has a lantern, a red cloak of some sort, some
But it was
black
funny.
leather with gold trimming bracers, and a coin pouch. These are the things we got earlier. Perhaps you will put them to better use than us.
Didn't happen to find a book, did you?
I'd be very appreciative if you did.
No book.
That'd be too easy.
Shit.
He sets out the contents there. As adventurers, all of these ping your guys' magic item radar.
Loot.
Now, who has identified those of them?
Well, I don't have it fucking prepared, so alas.
So it's dead. Does a
Other than-
Mr. Ward?
Do you know who
not.
Oh,
did? Do you
I
know
don't
who
have
had
identified.
identified?
Russian?
Tanum had identified.
Russian had identified, yes. I believe.
I think Samuel
No.
did too, so it's like
Samuel
all the
had
fucking
it,
options.
yeah.
Yeah.
God damn it!
Tanum had it and Samuel had it.
Shit.
Oh,
So
what
what
a
you're saying-
shame! What a shame!
Can the magic people try to identify it without magic?
Maybe
That's
Arcana
not how
my
it
way
works.
into it.
That's not how it works.
Shit.
Arcana will tell you that it is mad. Not. I'm not gonna let you get rid of a first level spell by just using a skill. Let me check the cleric thing. Maybe Seema has it. I don't think so. I don't think cleric.
Part of me says they might, actually.
Let's find out.
Knowledge domain might have it.
That might
Knowledge
be-
domain has it. Yep, he's 100% right. But normal ones don't. And Seema's a war. So what a shame.
She's suddenly a book nerd.
No, I'm not altering Seema. Besides, Wardom is like part of Seema's like core
Yeah.
backstory like pillar. So yeah, we can't get rid of that.
Well, Sandra's a muggle and Chedamir's like a muggle with spice, so.
Oh wait. Actually, wait. Does Abigail have it? She
Maybe it's
does.
kind of a- Wait, what the fuck?
Oh, what?
Chandra Spice Dealer?
Spice.
Augmenter has identify.
Wrong universe.
Augmenter has identify. So
Hey, baby.
Wait a minute, where
you
was
guys
that?
both parties look like shit. We don't have a way to identify it. But then Abigail just cuts in. I can take a look at those. By all means.
Oh, thank God. God.
I mean, I was gonna just throw them on and see what happened.
I mean, you're
it's
free to do
real.
that, big
What
guy.
if it's a self-combusting gauntlet or something?
What if it's cursed and you
You
can't
never
remove it?
I've self-combusted before.
I can't tell you if this thing's cursed or not.
Okay.
If it's here's the thing about curses: the people that make the curse usually want it to remain a secret.
Fair
So
point.
I won't be able to tell you that. Yeah,
You just have to identify harder.
you require a lantern of revealing,
Ooh. Wrong one.
a cape of the Montedunk, 240 GP, and bracers of blasting, which adds more to the I could do scorching ray for free arsenal you guys have.
Ha 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 ha.
It's a solid little dibbly doo.
The bracers of blasting are like a lesser version of the handguns. Because bracers can only do them once per day.
I copied it there in case people wanted to see it. Or other people. What does Lantern of Revealing do again? That's the only one I can't remember.
It reveals secret doors, illusionary doors.
Mhm.
Stuff
Makes
like that.
sense with the name.
It doesn't open them, but it's
It makes you know.
It
Tells
or
you
makes them
that
know.
they're
Yeah.
there.
yeah. It turns on the easy mode for secret detection in an exploration video. But like it's like in Dragon Age Inquisition, that like fucking sense you do that you could spam over and over again. The vink, vink. It's like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that.
Is there
Hey, there's a
magical
secret
money?
over here. Hey, hey.
Hey, listen.
What's a cape of
The Mountebank.
Mount